It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are? Welcome back to What the Podcast. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
Together we are
Ryan and John.
on the couch as always. Kara Tafoya.
Why 10 o'clock?
Annie the Scove Scoveman.
Hi.
Always fresh, never frozen. Because that was like a campaign that actually, this is a real thing. Not making this up. It was like a campaign they made in the 80s because like they had to remind adults to like, hey,
for their kids.
Stop neglecting your kids.
Yeah, so it was like the nightly news. It would be like
It was like a commercial. It'd be like, it's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your kids are?
it'd be like famous people. They had like famous people do it.
Yeah.
It's like the Got Milk, but like
know where your kids are?
more like make sure your kids aren't kidnapped or murdered.
All across the Pacific Northwest.
Okay. Let's go back to that.
That was also the same era they started putting like missing kids on milk cartons. They were like, hey,
milk carton kids.
like if you drink milk and you saw this kid, like let us know, you know?
Isn't that crazy how far we've come?
Yeah.
Wow.
From milk cartons?
Yeah. Now we all get a little text on our phone the moment like an Amber Alert happens.
Yeah.
I saw this thing that a school, it was just a news story, so I don't know where it was, but they started this thing where they were putting the kids' phones in those like concert bags, that open up with a magnet. So it's like, hey, the kid still has his phone. If he needs to, like, if there is an emergency, you can just go open it up and contact your parents or whatever.
Mm-hmm. We put ours in a bucket.
Did you?
Yeah.
When?
In high school?
Elementary school.
Elementary school.
Middle school.
Middle school. I guess that
She
was
went
like
to a private school. She was
the
really
season of the clamshell. You didn't have a clamshell phone when you were
Yeah,
like
flip phone.
13?
I mean, yeah, but
That's what she's
Yeah,
talking
that's what I'm
about.
talking
but,
about.
like no one collected them.
Oh, we brought them to school and
you're
they had
talking
a
about the
bucket,
bucket portion.
come
Got it.
around.
I don't know
Yeah.
if I had that.
I'll tell you what, phone culture in school has like changed too. It's not like you nowadays you can have it out and like you can have it on your desk and stuff.
Which
like
is
that.
wild.
When we were in school and you had phones, it was like if a
Hidden.
teacher saw it, you got taken
Contraband.
away.
What does that mean? You can just have it and you can go on
Yeah.
TikTok and you're
you
at
can't be
school?
on it, but like you're like they don't write you up for like checking it as long as you're not like actively like scrolling on social media.
Oh,
but
I
was always on my phone.
I got my phone taken. Like
if you saw it,
if I was checking my phone, like what are you
Oh.
Yeah.
what are you looking at?
I was
Give
really
me
good
that.
at hiding it.
It's they've laxed a little bit on phone rules.
Yeah,
now.
it depended on the class because my Spanish class, shout out Miss P, love you. She didn't care at all. She's like, go on your phones. I don't give a crap. Like, just do whatever you want.
See, and that feels like the logical. It's an interesting conversation because I feel like a lot of teachers like they feel the need to control high schoolers because they're like, oh, we're shaping these kids. Like we got to teach them how the way.
Yeah.
And then I think there's other high school teachers that are like, well, you're an adult. Like you're about to be an adult. Like
Yeah.
so you can handle yourself as long as you're not doing something dumb. There was go ahead.
was doing a retirement event for a school district.
Oh, that's right.
And they had middle schoolers, like that a middle school band come perform. And I was looking at these kids and I was like, I forget like how grown middle schoolers really are.
Oh, see, I always thought kids were getting smaller when I was growing up.
I was like looking at them and I was like, I imagine middle schoolers as like toddlers.
Okay.
Oh,
And I was like
No.
looking at them and I was like,
They're brats.
man, no wonder they're, what an awkward stage.
Yeah.
Because
I
you
hate-
are like,
I hate middle schoolers.
rewind to like 1800s. You're married with kids at 14, right?
Okay.
Like
All right.
Go on.
All right.
back in the day.
Can you finish that thought? What does that
back
mean
when
for
I was
kids
a
now?
kid.
What does it mean for kids?
I mean, now it's like, are we making them younger? Are we like treating them like children longer? I
You're
feel
saying
like
we should
30
start
is the new
marrying
21.
off. We should start marrying off the middle schoolers.
Yeah,
Is that
I
what
mean,
you're
marry
saying?
them off. Like, why not? Like, let them get married at 12 and see what happens.
I'll be honest. It's been a while since you've had a crazy take on this show, so it's refreshing to hear.
It is
I mean,
nice
I
to
don't-
get
I'm
back
not-
to our
I'm just
roots.
saying- I'm
It's
just
nice to
saying.
get back to our roots.
Can we bring back 16 and pregnant?
Okay, here we go. There you go.
Teen mom.
That's
There it
different
is.
than middle school.
Well, they
Yeah.
get married in middle school,
You're
wait a
painting
couple
with
of years.
a really broad
get
brush,
pregnant at
Annie.
16.
You're saying marry off the
Get married at
12-year-olds.
14.
The whole thing of 16
Wait
and
2
pregnant was they
years.
got pregnant on prom night and they
Well-
ruined their life. It's not that they were married and
only
had a
some of them
reasonable
ruined their life.
length of a marriage until they had a kid.
I'm just saying, I think I would, like, the older I get,
was never part
the
of it.
less I want, the less I'm like, man, I just want a kid.
Okay.
Like, I want a kid
That's
so
called
None
your-
of
bad.
those people wanted
That's
a
called
kid.
your biological
No,
clock.
but I'm saying
Annie.
at 16, I was like, I could do it. I would have a baby, no problem.
Okay,
It'd
what
be
the
great.
hell are you talking about?
Oh yeah,
Wait, wait, wait,
16
wait, wait.
was when my baby fever hit, and every single second since, it's slowly
And that
drained.
show only helped it. You were
Oh,
like,
yeah,
oh,
I
those
was,
girls
like,
are so lucky.
done.
Annie,
Could do it.
I don't think you've ever seen the show.
Oh, I have.
Because those
and then I
girls,
watched 16
their
Pregnant
lives
to Teen
are
Mom.
ruined.
Their lives get ruined. Are you kidding me?
I don't think you're
I like
watching
that Andy
16 and
watches that show.
pregnant.
I don't think
Andy
you're
watches
watching
that show
the
and goes
show.
like, I could do it better.
Yeah, because you don't live in a trailer park, Annie. What are you talking about? Those girls are always like, I'm keeping this baby and my daddy.
You haven't seen those shows. They all have loving families for the most part.
Okay. I don't know what you're talking about. That was like the Mormon version of it or something. Mm-hmm. It had to be because
I was so close to being
16 and
Mormon.
pregnant is always like, oh yeah, this girl got pregnant on prom night. The dad is like, wants to be a
They-
tattoo artist. Like,
They made the show in hopes that it would deter that. And there was a spike in teen pregnancy after the show came out. Dead ass.
That's because people just wanted to be on the show.
they wanted to be
yeah.
on MTV.
So
Which,
they're
by
like,
the way,
oh, this is
crazy
gonna be
take.
this is
I'm
gonna be
gonna have
a
a
great
child.
this is gonna be a great, like, you know, don't have sex too young, don't get pregnant too young, use protection, and then boom, everyone was like, me, I could do that.
We had a few girls in my high school that got pregnant, like
Same.
their junior year.
Yeah,
Yeah.
junior year.
And they're, by all accounts, based off social media, they're great moms. They have
That's what I'm
Same.
saying. And that could have been me.
Again, I'm seeing the social media side. So
Also, that was
Of
1 year
course.
after 16, though.
And it's
Junior year.
probably not that
Fine,
big of a deal
17
in
and
the long
pregnant.
run, but when you're 16, it feels like it's the end of everything because you're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you can't just go to the soda fountain anymore and hang out with
Yeah,
your buddies.
the soda.
And
Well, for you can't smoke behind the
we are-
Target.
you can't
I mean,
throw
you
a-
still can
you
for
can't
9
throw
months.
a nickel in the
Time
jukebox.
warp. What a time warp! We're going back and forth. The soda, the fountain bar.
Yeah, you
It's
can't like
crazy.
flick a nickel off your thumb and it like go into the jukebox.
No, back in the day, the 13-year-olds had like full jobs. They stopped going to school at 8.
Isn't the whole like narrative about school is that
It's a scam.
Is that it was designed to make factory workers? Isn't that the whole thing?
That's the
Rockefeller
rumor.
called the
Well,
That's why they
Secretary of
have us on like a
Education
bell schedule and
and
everything.
was
That
saying
we're
like,
like,
I need factory workers. I need you to change the schooling program to make factory workers, and that's why. It's
But
fully
even then,
tracks.
women only took like home skills classes.
I was gonna say they probably
Bring
didn't even
those
send
So-
girls
Wait,
to.
what is it called?
And it's like
Home
still hasn't
economics?
recovered.
Home ec, yeah.
The
Yeah.
education program still hasn't recovered. Like there's
No.
still things about the education program that are like doesn't make any sense to like how you do life as
It's
an
probably
adult.
better than like throwing the kids in the meat factories, though. You ever read that book,
Sure.
The Jungle?
Oh no.
yeah, dude, that one's wild.
People were losing their limbs and stuff. Kids were falling in the meat grinders, and they were just like, whatever.
human body part,
More meat.
rats
Way it
and the
goes, I
hot
guess.
dogs.
Yeah, I guess it's better than that.
That's crazy. I was just thinking about that book the other day.
The Jungle.
Yeah.
What book?
The Jungle.
The Jungle.
Yeah,
It's just this book about like factory. You remember Newsies? How like the kids were selling papes?
Yeah.
And the kids were like, we don't want to sell papes no more. There were
Yeah.
also a bunch of kids working in the meat factories.
"We don't wanna work in the
They're
meat
like, we don't want to get
factories
our
no more."
arms ripped off anymore. Like they'd like lose fingers and stuff on the
And then the
daily.
adults are like, get back in there. Come on.
They're like, shut up,
They
kids.
said you're the only
don't
one
know
that
any
can
better."
fit in the meat grinder.
because
So-
I said so.
Because I'm your father. Whatever.
Not even that. It was like, because I'm your landlord
Yeah.
and you owe me $1 billion.
Yeah.
Because I'm letting you lodge here.
Yeah.
Over the
Classic. Bring it
weekend,
back.
Maya Rudolph hosted SNL.
SNL.
Oh, we just
What a
got-
queen.
No, well, soft. It's a soft transition
Oh, we
because
need a soft transition.
they did because they did a sketch that was like they were teachers and they were like the school year is ending and we just want to say to all the students, y'all won.
Yeah.
You are the most like depraved generation. She's like, I don't understand. If I have to hear one more Riz or Skibbity Toilet, I'm gonna kill myself. You
true.
win.
Awesome.
Like
That is
Y'all
so
are-
true.
Do you know
So
a phrase that I had absolutely no idea
talking about Skibbity
what
Toilet.
it was? Nope. It's a phrase in the drag community,
Okay,
Okay.
give it to me.
and
It's called drag queen.
I'm gonna say the phrase
The
wrong.
Rizzler.
It's
it's just
slay
safe
the
space.
house down
Oh
boots.
yeah, house
Oh,
down
yeah.
and boots down
Yeah.
are
you
like
haven't heard that?
I've never heard that before.
What?
It's part of the announcements before my show. They go, "Let's slay down the house boots." I'm like,
Like,
what
what
the
is
hell is that? And everyone was like, "Oh, it's in drag
Really?
culture. It's like a big phrase." I've never heard it before.
I'm
John is so
surprised.
proud that he knows something.
I only know it 'cause
What
of
does it
Bobby.
mean? What does it mean?
Slay the house down. Like, kill it.
Slay-
Go for it. girl.
Okay,
it.
but boots? Why you add boots at the end?
Oh, I
boots,
bet-
like boots down. You know, like
Slay the
down.
house down boots?
I think it's like your
the same
boots.
thing.
It's like dyeing your boots. You know. I'm gonna hit
It's like
you guys.
the cowboy creed.
This is a great
Cowboy
segue. Actually,
Cow person
I'm
creed,
gonna
my
hit you
bad.
guys with some Gen Z / Gen Alpha lingo.
I'll tell you what it means.
Great.
Okay.
Great. I love it.
I already threw this one around. Riz.
Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
charisma.
You got that. You
Riz.
got that. You got that. Like
Okay, go ahead.
You got that specialty.
Yeah. It is
Yeah.
short for
Rizzler.
charisma. That's
also
correct.
the Rizzler, right? That means you're.
Rizzler.
Now, the Rizzler is somebody with lots of Riz.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
correct.
they're like the ultimate
I
Rizzlers.
just throwing it out there as like a add-on.
Yep.
Rizzler.
Do you know what a Gyat is?
No idea.
Yeah, it's like a booty, right?
Yeah, it's like
you like a
ass.
big old booty.
How did they get
Throw
there?
that Gyat.
Throw that Gyat in a circle.
That's why if you look in the comments, it's like I got to get to Disneyland. It's like,
What?
yeah, when Minnie Mouse is like throwing it back. Okay, here's another one.
Not when Minnie Mouse is throwing it back.
Yeah.
The fact that there was just a dead moment of silence after he said that.
Did we talk about mewing last week?
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, no,
No,
not
we
on
didn't.
here, but
We didn't. But John and I were in a
Okay.
Bible study.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
This is where you learn
Jordan's
stuff like this.
Jordan's
Young
cousin, who's not even that much younger than us. How old
Yeah.
is Trey? Like,
He's a couple years younger than Jordan, but
so he's like,
guys.
yeah. So he's like probably
I'm older than you
23.
guys.
Okay.
And he taught us what mewing was because he's like, oh yeah, the kids are doing this. And I was like,
you didn't
that's
know
so
what mewing was before that?
No, but
I
it's
didn't
like
know what it
a
was
thing
either.
now. It's like not
Yeah.
just
Kara,
mewing.
Kara,
It's
I
been
didn't
a
even
thing
know
for
Slay
like
the
a
House
year
Down.
with
This is a safe
celebrities.
space,
No,
okay?
so there's the actual act of mewing.
Yeah.
And now it's like a little like bit that all the kids do
Yes.
where they go like this
Yeah,
to
and
say
it's,
like I'm mewing, can't
like
talk.
can't talk, and they do it to teachers and stuff. They're like,
How?
wait,
And
what
someone
what
and at
is
the
mewing?
Padres game, some kid on the big screen made it on the big screen
saw
and
that.
was doing it, and I was like,
What is
Mewing,
Mewing is-
mewing is putting your tongue
Like-
on the roof of your mouth
And rolling your tongue back.
while sucking in your cheeks.
So
So,
it
it kind
makes
of
your,
looks
like-
like this. Like your tongue on the top is supposed to get rid of your double chin, like this, and then you're supposed to.
So
this is great podcasting.
So wait. Why do celebrities do that to look good?
Celebrities do it because. So
Oh.
you've heard of buckle
thought it
fat
was-
removal?
Yeah.
okay.
This is buckle fat, and celebrities will get buckle fat removal.
Yeah.
I feel like I look
Same.
stupid.
They'll
Going in
get
next
it
week.
to make
You
their
do.
cheekbones look like more prominent,
Okay.
but you can also achieve that by mewing.
Really?
So it's
Why are
stupid.
the kids doing it?
Because
I don't
they're
get
Because
it.
dumb.
it's celebrity culture.
Wow.
What
Yeah.
else,
The
Ryan?
more you
Hit us
know.
with another.
I'll hit you with a few. I'm getting a list that it feels a little more 2021 than it does 2024. But
yeah.
we've got cap, obviously.
Yeah.
Which is like, you're lying. You're capping.
No cap.
Yeah. Okay.
No cap is like I'm not lying. Cap.
Oh yeah, I know Cap.
Yeah, you know cap. You know cap. I say bet all the time. Chugi is
Oh,
self-explanatory.
you know what? I used Chugi and I was roasted to high heaven.
Chugi
so
out?
Chugi's out.
Chugi's
Chugi's out.
Yo, we were just talking
I
about
use
this because we
Chugi.
were working a wedding on Saturday
With two of my
and
former students.
Yeah,
so
she
they're
has two
19.
little Gen Zers
Okay.
on the way, and so I was saying herd chef because I
herd-
love that
herd
Because of the
chef.
bear.
I'm digging it.
Yeah, love
and
it.
they're like, they started giving me like a face, and I was like, "Is that like not in anymore?"
And they're like, no,
they're
it's in. And then
"No, it
finally,
is." And then finally, yeah, Elise goes, "Hey, I didn't want to crush your spirit, but that's like out now."
she's like, I can't keep listening to
And
you
I was
do it.
like,
She was like, I
Herd
can't lie
Chef
to you.
is out?
Or
it's
Herd Chef's out.
Can you believe that?
Like
And then
hell
we
it
were-
is.
and then we
the
were
Bear
like-
season 3 is coming back this summer. I'm gonna be saying it more.
And then we were like, is Let Her Cook still in?
Let
Like,
It Cook, yeah,
Let It
Let It
Cook. Let It
Cook.
Cook. And they're like, yeah, we still say that, but it's not like
It's not really a thing anymore. And I'm
You know
like,
what they used to say is period, and then they just went to
Period.
like per.
Per
See, that's crazy.
Per.
I can't do that.
or pert.
Period's kinda
Periods.
funny, though.
No, you can do a period, but with a T at the end.
Period.
Period.
Yeah.
Like that's like
I
period.
alternate between herd and word all the time.
Word.
Herd,
Herd.
word.
I was
You know?
wearing clay earrings
Vibes.
on Sunday.
Are those chuggy?
I have so
Chugi
many of them
chevron.
because they were so big during
They were
like
so big.
during COVID.
Yeah, and
Everyone was
making
wearing
them?
cute clay earrings, all this stuff. So I have like 5 pairs.
Jordan made a few.
And I wore them the other day and I got so many compliments. And I used Chugi for the first time. I literally was like, yeah, I haven't worn these because they're kind of Chugi. And everyone was
Are
like,
they?
yeah.
Is that like big dumb hat? Like same thing?
kind
Chugi in
Sad.
my mind, the ultimate Chugi is chevron rug.
Wait,
Like
which is what?
Black and white chevron rug.
a rug though?
Like the chevron pattern.
Oh yeah, yeah.
whole-
No, I feel like the rug would
For
still
sure.
be in though.
the whole
No.
phrase
I feel
I
like
feel
use
like
all the
chevron
time.
pattern
rug.
on like clothing.
No, chevron period's Chugi. It
Chevron.
out.
I'm gonna
It's out.
I'm gonna hit you with a new one.
Oh, go
yeah.
ahead.
A simp.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Pining for
Simp.
Yeah,
somebody.
you guys know simp, okay?
Yep.
Basic, we know. Bussin', we know.
Bussin', sure,
Bussin' is
of
like
course,
something
bussin'.
that's really good.
Bussin'. I haven't used that in a while. I'm using that again.
The goat, we know.
Of course.
Someone, so you know who's like pioneering a lot of these phrases? I live with someone who's a little bit younger than me.
Okay.
And John, you said this. They were at the wedding. We worked together, and you had said that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah.
And she made a comment. She was like, "Did he get that from Jake Shane?"
Oh
What?
God.
And I was like,
Who is that?
No,
Jake Shane is the
octopus lover 8.
Oh.
Octopussy.
The guy
And
who
he
does,
says that's the way the cookie crumbles?
He has a podcast now, and she's been getting all these sayings from him, and like.
Don't you hate it when things get recycled? And
That
then the new
slang is
generation's
from
that's from
so long ago.
so
from this
and so.
thing.
It's like,
And so
You're like,
she,
no, that's
I'll
just
kill
a thing
you.
I've been saying since I was born. The cookie crumbles. Are you kidding me?
she said that, and she's like, I got it from him, and me and my other roommate were like, no, that's just a saying. Like everyone knows that.
oh my gosh, I can't. She's so lucky I didn't hear her say.
I
that.
have
it was rough.
this is
I would've gone off.
from Oprah Daily.
Okay,
Well,
Oprah.
Oprah's
Daily.
out.
All the popular slang words 2024.
This is so
Clap
sad.
back.
Oh yeah, clapback is like
But that's been out forever.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it is right. It's just coming back.
Flex.
You know what I said recently? I feel like I use like 50s like surf culture words. I constantly am like far out, and I got called out on it at the record store.
Oh.
I was like far out, and he was like far out. What year is this? He's like, and it was an older guy too. He was
Don't
like,
you hate when older guys do that?
I'm
though?
like, listen, sir, you're
Sir.
capping right now.
Don't cap with me right
I'm
now,
the.
bro.
I just learned this one.
I'm the King
I'm the
Rizzler.
CEO of Lingo. So when you're the CEO of something, that's
CEO.
like you're really good at it.
Oh, God.
Like
okay.
I'm the
This
CEO
is,
of.
I can't keep up with
Yeah,
the
me
kids
either.
nowadays.
I feel like you know a lot of these, Annie.
My thing-
Sheesh.
Yeah, but
If you
was
know,
that-
you know.
Of course.
My
Okay.
thing that
Living
people are
rent
doing
free in your head.
is
I
they're
use
like
that all
they're
the time.
shortening it to letters.
Okay.
They're like, my roommate will say KMS for kill myself.
Oh,
She's
That's
like,
crazy.
made me want to
gosh.
KMS.
That's
And I'm like-
aggressive.
That's kind of hilarious. though.
LOML.
Lamau. But I
Is
say
it
I say
myself,
lol
one
all the
word?
time though.
what?
That's a good distinction.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
true.
Is it
KM. I'm gonna
KM?
KM.
I mean, I guess.
God.
KM, I would read it as kill me.
People in my cast were doing this. They were going,
Uh-oh. Okay,
Sheesh,
she's pointing
yeah.
to her arm.
Oh, that
This is
one's
a
old.
podcast.
That one's 2020.
but they were saying you got the Riz with that.
Oh.
But now it's like
Like
the problem
now
is
it's
She's
changed
pointing
to
to her
that's the
arm.
Riz.
here's what it is that stuff on the internet becomes ironic again. Like that was unironic like 3 or 4 years ago,
And now it's
and now
ironic.
it's back, and people do it like in a funny way, like
What's so
almost
funny
making
though,
fun of you.
Is I asked them, I
Like,
went, "Why are you doing that? Like, why is that Riz
Got 'em.
now?" I was like,
Why is that
Are you
Riz?
like shooting up?
You just call.
That's
Like,
a-
are you pointing? Like,
That is so bold. I love
You know?
that.
Yeah. Get
Why
'em,
you-
Karen,
What
get
is
'em.
that? Stop doing that.
She's like, have you done heroin?
You're that
Have you?
cast member.
That can't be a
I think
heroin
no.
thing. Nobody
Amen.
does
Bring back
heroin.
bullying.
No,
Call
okay.
them out.
We've
They're
talked about
idiots.
this before, and
Annie drops it at
I
the
agree with you.
most
Thank
But
you.
any convenient moment she has.
I won't get into it too far, but
Go ahead.
no, I will say that the same thing
ahead.
happens in music, especially for weddings, because like just last year, the things that were out in music for all the weddings I did last year, there was no cha-cha slide, no Cupid shuffle, no electric slide. Like they didn't like any of those dance songs.
Sure.
And now it's like all the weddings this year, like yeah, we love those. Like those are great. And I'm like, last year I couldn't get a bride to like they hated those at all their weddings. And then this year it's like yeah, no, they're great. I love them now.
Well, we've been doing the cha-cha slide for a long time.
I'm
though.
done with the cha-cha
I know,
slide.
but like
Well, you guys
it's
go to a
crazy
lot of
how
weddings.
We
so.
need to make our own.
Our own cha-cha slide.
We need a
that
new
somebody
group.
did Cupid Shuffle.
yeah.
That was
Remember
still
that?
forever ago.
When did that come out?
Where
Cupid
was the one?
Shuffle?
Was
Cupid
it
Shuffle
the Cupid
was-
Shuffle that was like, nah, look out for the new one, and it
No,
just
that's
never
the
came.
cha-cha slide.
The cha-cha slide was like
That was Casper
Casper
Slide
Slide
Part
2.
2.
and it just
never came out. Never came.
Never came.
Yeah, that song is.
You know
just
what's
tough.
number one on the Billboard Hot 100 this week?
No.
Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us.
Really?
Yep, his diss track,
His
number
diss track.
one. So I think he won.
Did he win?
Cupid Shuffle 2007.
Wow.
So it's been a
A
moment.
while. Been a
That
while.
makes sense why, like, every pep rally, they'd play it because it was new.
There was no Cupid
Yeah.
Shuffle, and then suddenly there was.
Yeah.
It was everywhere.
That's so crazy.
We got to think of the next one.
What's
We
the
got to
next one?
really cook this one, guys.
You know what?
Let him cook.
What
Let
caught
me
me
cook.
so off guard
You chuggies.
was
That's funny.
the prom just happened. It was
Okay.
prom season.
Oh, it did?
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Once you're out of the school system, I always forget that this
Yeah.
is like the end of the school year. I'm like,
Yeah. So it's prom season, right?
Yep.
All the girls in strapless dresses.
okay.
Because back in the day, you used to have a dress code where you had to have
straps.
Oh, there's no dress code at all.
No, there's no dress code.
Yeah.
You had to have 2 finger straps.
As we know, Bobby works at high school, and no dress code whatsoever. They can't even say anything about anything you say.
Do people still like glam out for prom? Because I feel like that was a
the theme of what I've been seeing for dresses this year is like garden dresses are very in for prom. Like
that's
very
that's what I'm saying.
Like
soft
free
and flowy.
people-y.
Guys still gotta rent a suit. Don't worry. They still gotta rent a suit.
Back in the day when it was like bedazzled
Suspenders,
top and tulle bottom.
The whole
That's what I had.
Rip.
That's what I had.
whole
I
kit
also
and caboodle.
someone recently pointed this out to me, and this made me want to, as the kids say, KMS.
Well, just KM actually.
Just Cam.
MS is one
and-
word.
And it was the fact that one day we're gonna have to
KMS.
explain to our kids that we are older than AI.
Yes, that's crazy.
And I was like, oh.
You think AI will be around
We're also older than the internet.
long enough? You think they're gonna kill
Yeah.
AI
Well,
soon?
we're actually not. Technically, the internet was invented in the 70s, but it
But
was
like-
very like the
modern day internet.
day internet. Yes, I guess so. Social media certainly.
Do we really know when AI was created then? AI could have been created in the 90s.
Like
That's true.
Well, I guess the algorithm's
Yes.
kind of a version of AI. But not
yeah.
really.
I think it's just kind of a buzzword, honestly, right now. Like just to talk
Scare
about
you?
like it's just like a learning software.
Like war on drugs.
yeah, it's like the war on drugs,
It's like just a talking
AI
point
is
for
like
politicians.
heroin, not a big deal.
When used appropriately, it is pretty cool. I mean, like you talked about how your business, you have that program and it like writes emails that like are good, like legit emails. And then it just like adds the client's name in there and you send it and it seems like legit, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's cool.
I'll say that AI got me through college. And it was before like AI necessarily came out. It was like a word software that helped like rewrite your essay to make like it sound better.
I was asking my brother about that because I thought the same thing. I thought this is probably like high schoolers are probably using this to advantage, but he said like now teachers are looking at outliers almost, because like he's like there's a kid that won't do anything all year long, and then all of a sudden like in a month, like one month he starts to turn in everything in, and it's all like written really well. Can't tell it's AI, but he's like based off of the trend, I know this kid's like just figured out how to use AI on his iPad or something like that, and it just is like. And I thought that was kind of weird. It's scary that one, they can't tell technically to some degree, and two, now they're basically relying on your like history of as a student. Like, were you a good student last year? Okay, well then you're cheating this year because all of a sudden you just started to commit to something.
I think we're gonna go backwards. I think it's gonna be like timed writing, like by hand.
Typewriter.
Oh, by hand.
It's gonna go like, hey, if I was ever a teacher, it'd be like, great, here's our final essay. You have 1 hour to do it. Write as much as you can.
And
You're writing it by hand
right now. Give you the prompt right now. Yeah,
and you're doing it by hand.
that's cool.
And you can paraphrase
Feels
quotes.
pretty obvious, right?
You can paraphrase quotes, but you have to draw from your knowledge of what we read this year.
Well, and the technology is crazy too because now they take tests on computers, but now they can like lock their screens into like certain web pages where you can't go Google the answers, and also teachers can see all their kids' screens like in one go, which is cool.
I get it, right? We've got to make sure the kids are doing the work. But Google and, for that
They're gonna
matter,
have it
AI,
forever.
not going anywhere.
Yeah.
In
The
same way
calculator is not going anywhere.
that in the same way that we weren't allowed to use calculators,
So
but
shouldn't
we have a
we
calculator
empower
always.
kids to be able to use those tools to be able to still like do better work? Like the AI and essay one is kind of hard, but like I feel like not all kids are good at essays anyways. Like wouldn't you try to empower them like, hey, these tools exist. Hey, Google. I feel like we were this generation where like citing sources from Wikipedia was like becoming a thing. Like
You were allowed to cite sources from Wikipedia?
I wasn't
I wasn't.
until I suddenly was.
we were.
Because you had to just like, you had to go down to the bottom of Wikipedia and like cite those sources because obviously Wikipedia is just like an amalgamation of
sources was
God.
so awful.
I remember having to
Talk
learn how to
about
do it by
KM.
hand.
No, we had a website where it was
Show
like
me.
you plugged in all your stuff and
Easybib.com.
it spit out-
Easybib.com.
And I always thought this is so
Whoa.
dumb. Why am I doing this? Like I'm not even consciously figuring out how to do it.
Why am I doing this? I'm just
copying.
copying and pasting the
Yes, and then
essay. I'm not
taking
writing the
that
essay.
and then they even graded you on it like, oh, remember one time she like marked it up, and I was like, I just put it in the freaking website.
Your bibliography was an APA, and you're supposed to be an MLA.
Oh my gosh, kill me, dude.
Oh God.
I mean, sorry,
MLA.
KMS.
KMS.
Just KM.
KM.
Actually.
KM.
No, seriously. And I
So dramatic.
I think back to like, I remember having to learn how to write a citation by hand in the multiple different formats, and like taking one like book and citing it in like 5 different formats.
Yeah.
And that was like your homework.
Yeah,
This is
totally.
what I'm talking about, though, in relation to what we talked about earlier.
Like, what's the point of it?
How education started kind of in this way where they were trying to raise factory workers because that's what the U.S. needed at that time.
Right.
It's like, when does the education program start to drastically change to like fit the needs of what today is? You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
I mean,
today's
at first,
world.
the first drastic change was homeschooling.
Sure.
Well,
was
that
it
was
that? I
old
feel like
school. That was like the OG.
We were homeschooling
Yeah.
before there was homeschooling.
The
were just,
OG
like,
was
teaching your
just
kids how to-
teaching how to live.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
At home.
Yeah,
I think
at home.
I feel like junior year, senior year, school becomes like learn how to be a college student. You
Yeah,
know, there were
true.
so many
Which
like
is so funny.
yes, because it's like okay, you're just gonna be now you're just gonna be like a professional student.
Which
like go to school again.
I was talking to, because I had a small group of students who are seniors in high school last year. Now they just are now finishing their freshman year of college, right?
Yeah.
I was talking to one on the phone, and she's like, my school, their whole thing was like, we pump out college students. Like, we get them prepped for college. And she's like, I feel like I was so not prepared at all for how this works.
No.
She goes, I like don't think that they did a good job at all of like preparing me for the reality of what it looks like to be a college student. I was like, yeah, they just dumped a crap ton of homework on
Yeah.
you, and it was like, this is gonna be what college is like.
Yeah.
You have to figure it out. And it's like, no, that's not at
not what it
all.
was
I feel like
like-
all my favorite teachers, all my best teachers, like all the best experiences I had at school were like they were teaching me how to learn, like how to get information out of,
That's
like
cool.
math or history or whatever. Like, how are you coming to those conclusions? Like, not just like, here's how you do a freaking essay and this is how you like do a math problem. Like,
I don't know. Like I said, there's probably no perfect answer, but I just feel like
There is.
more and more like. I mean, I know my experience, which again, I graduated high school 10 years ago. Yikes.
Yikes.
Celebrating my 10 year coming up. And I feel like even when I left high school, I wasn't like prepared for, I didn't go to a college. I didn't go to like college. I like logistically stayed home and started working for the most part. But I was like, I didn't learn anything in high school that prepared me
They
for
had
any of that.
one college prep class, and it wasn't even college prep. It was what was it? It was while AP students were doing their like AP history of senior year. What was it? AP, not AP World.
okay. Yeah.
AP
A push.
Was it
U.S.
A-push?
history or world history?
I don't know. One
AP
of those.
something.
AP European.
Because you could do AP. There was no honors for senior, or you could do like the regular class. The regular class did history for the first half. Second half was all college prep. So the AP kids didn't get that.
Can I tell
Well,
you?
the AP kids were like already doing college level stuff.
I
weren't
took
they?
a AP
Yeah,
English
that's the
class.
idea.
Never looked at my results. I took it. Never looked at.
Oh,
my
I got like 4s on all of my AP tests. I think I got a 5 on one.
I wasn't allowed to take the AP classes. My mom wouldn't let me.
I was slated to take the AP English test, and I missed it because my grandma's funeral happened to land on the day, and so they like excused me. They let me retake it.
Did you pay extra? just to
No, they
retake
didn't make me pay extra. I just went to a room and did it, and it was just me, and a teacher was just watching me because I was the only one taking it. And it's like a 3-hour test, right?
Yeah.
I finished in an hour and 15 minutes. And I brought it up to her, and she's like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "No, seriously, are you sure you're done?" And I said, "Uh-huh." And she's like, "Okay."
She's like, dear
All right.
God,
Have a nice
sorry.
life, Albright.
They
She
had
goes, see you in school
Die.
they
next
had the
year.
one day, and then they had a makeup day, and you had to pay extra for the makeup day. And I had to do the makeup day for almost every single AP test.
Let's take the SAT and the ACT. So stupid.
We should take the SAT. Can we?
I bet you can. I bet you can just
All 4
pay
of us
for
take it.
it.
Highest score wins.
It's like $100.
Done.
No.
Done.
no.
Can I tell you?
Also, colleges don't
No.
ask for it anymore.
I bet it's online now. I bet it's not even in
Let's take a practice test.
The scoring's different too
Dude.
now.
No.
PSAT. Let's take the PSAT.
What did you get on the SAT? You remember?
Well, okay, ours were on
Our scoring was
2400.
our score was 2,400 was
Dude,
the high.
I was literally like 10 points below average.
What'd you get?
I got a 1590, which now it's out of 1600, right?
Now it's out of 1,600.
So I tell people I got a 1590, and all my students were like, I almost got a perfect
And you said,
score. And I was
yeah,
like,
well.
yeah,
Oh,
I
they
did.
changed it?
So don't live your dreams, kids. Your ACT score, your SAT score, it won't matter.
I
You'll
took
be
both,
perfect.
and I did worse on the ACT.
Really?
Yeah, I only
I
took
guess
the
it's.
SAT.
I guess there's a poll that guys do better on the ACT than girls.
I
It's very
remember
weird.
the
Sexist.
SAT being so like the whole thing was stupid.
You know what the SAT was?
You show up on a Saturday.
It was a
and-
high school
horrible.
entrance exam for Catholic schools
so
that we had to
dumb.
do.
What you talking
To
about?
get into a Catholic school, you had to take
An
this
SAT.
giant 4-hour test. It was literally the SAT.
Damn.
That can't be right.
That's so
I had this girlfriend at the time that was like studying religiously for her SAT. She was like, I got to get into a good school. And I had already decided, like, I'm not going to school. Like,
Same.
I'm going to go to music school. My mom was like, just take it anyways.
I
Like,
love
you
your
may
mom.
want an SAT.
That morning
She's like, you're going to
sucked.
take an SAT and an ACT. I was like, all right, whatever.
Heard.
And I got a better grade than my girlfriend at the time.
Dude,
And
that's
she
insane.
was
What'd you get?
pissed. I got like an 1800.
No.
No, you didn't.
I bet
You got an 1800?
Yeah, I did really well.
genius.
I was good at
Some
taking
people
tests.
are good. I'm horrible at taking
I was
tests.
terrible.
I got a
I-
1750.
I never looked at my SAT score. I did like 10 years later. Bobby and I looked it up. You could still find it. And I got like a 1500. It was stupid. Or maybe 1450. It was
I
very
think
low.
we broke up because of that. But
Broke up because
among
of
other
your
things.
SAT
Among other
score?
things. That was part of
way.
it.
No,
She
that's
was literally
narrative.
like,
You broke up because of your
I've
SAT
been
score.
studying for
you're
this
like,
for
well-
6 months. I'm like,
And you're
why?
just like,
Cool.
I'm him.
Why? It's super easy.
And you're like, I'm him. Sorry.
I'm like, I'm the
the
goat.
freaking
I'm
math.
actually the
math
Rizzler.
section was so sucky.
I left half of my math blank,
So, yeah,
and
same.
I was like, I poured
You
my
have
heart
half of
in,
your math blank.
Yeah.
You got a 1500.
and I poured my heart and soul into that essay
English?
portion.
Damn.
I got the same score in my essay as I did my math.
Sad.
no
I wanted to
way.
show
Sad.
myself. I was so
What does that
sad.
accomplish, though? You're sitting there for 4 hours writing an essay, doing all these sections. Like, what does that
What
accomplish?
is it? That's what I'm kind of getting at. Like, what does it trually prepare you for in
'Cause
life?
Nothing.
in a working environment, you're never going to do that. Never.
By the way, never written an essay since that. Never written an essay.
Well, you've written your will. That's
Well,
kind of
yeah,
an
my
essay in a
will.
sense.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
you hire someone to write that. I just
Yeah,
AI
sure, of
generate
course.
that.
But like,
AI, write me a will.
like a conventional essay, like
Yeah, true. I agree.
it's not like that's like a thing people do.
I perform and make money.
Okay,
That's
we
what
all
I'm
write.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
We all write an
I
essay.
don't write
We get
essays.
somebody to grade it for us.
I
John,
would
you
love
can
that.
go back to school.
I don't.
In
wanna
fact,
grade-
I encourage you
Do you
to.
have things in your like Google Drive from high school, like essays,
Oh,
still
yeah,
saved?
tons,
I
yeah.
don't know
I still
about
do.
high school. I have
don't.
college.
Oh, you know what's
Oh, I
funny?
have high
Actually, I don't
school.
think I have any high school stuff like essays saved or anything like that.
I have essays.
I don't think I was using Google Drive.
Me
in high
either.
school.
That's what I was thinking too.
Oh.
I remember.
Google
I do
Drive
remember
in
at the end of every school year, my friends and I would get together and we burned all of our old papers and notebooks from the year prior.
I always
Oh,
wanted
throwing
to
it
do
away.
that.
I just
So fun.
ripped them up and threw them away. It was the best day ever.
Oh,
That last
see,
day of
think
school,
we
you
did the
just throw
bonfire
away all
one
your
time.
notebooks.
My mom was always like, "You never know when you're gonna need those
Yeah.
notes."
You guys are probably good
Typical
students, but
Robbie.
did you ever have like that stressful week before school or the semester was over where your like grades are getting submitted and you're like, I don't know what I got. Like,
Yep.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
it's
talk-
it's
Like,
gonna come
what is
down
my
to
grade?
inches.
I feel like
for me.
more like we could call my parents, and it was more stressful for them. They're like, "She has not done any homework this whole semester. She's never gonna graduate."
I remember religiously checking the website because it started like as like physical and then it obviously became a website. thing.
Yeah.
Did you guys use RenWeb? Right.
I think so. But refreshing it like over and over again just to see what the finalized grade was, and it was never good for me. But
At my senior year semester, like
on,
my
Johnny.
last semester of not college, of high school, they came out with these like tests, these Scantrons,
Yes.
where you went up to the teacher's computer and it snapped a picture of your answers. Everyone's Scantron was different. It was like generated for you.
Oh, that's
Sure.
And
weird.
it would snap a
scanned
picture and it would
Scantrons for teachers.
while you were standing there, the like computer would grade it and it would like load and then it would flash you what
Loser.
you got.
Loser.
But like before you walk back to your desk.
Oh.
And so your teacher would like my teacher would have like a line of people waiting to be graded and you would like try to see what other people
That's
got. And it would just
crazy.
like flash your grade and then you would go back to your seat and like the amount of times it'd be like C and I was like,
that sucks.
I got so many C's.
You ever do the math on what you had to get the
Oh.
whatever you wanted? You're like, I have to get like at least
in
79%.
college I
No.
could put in it had all of the like assignments for the whole semester. And I can put in like if I get a 0 here, a 10 here, 11 here,
No way.
and it literally would tell me like what I needed to get in order to like pass the class.
I just hoped for the best. Did you ever do the chapstick trick on a Scantron?
What?
I heard about it. I never did it, but I heard about it. Apparently,
I did it, and I don't know if it worked or not.
you got 100%.
I swear it worked for one of
Allegedly,
them.
when you did there was the Scantron machines that you'd put the paper through. And
Yeah.
it would scan.
You know,
allegedly,
on the
if you
left
put
side,
chapstick on the
little bars.
barcode, it would like fuck with the machine, and then you'd pass. Like,
It would literally give you
give you, like, a
100%.
Does it normally mark if it's wrong or something? Is that
Yeah.
yeah.
And so the chapstick would
yeah,
just
and it
prevent
had like
it's
a little
wax.
green
it would
mark or something.
register them all as correct.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Whoa.
I did
I
it.
always thought it was folklore.
I
like
did it multiple times.
urban legend.
Don't know if it ever worked until my junior year. It was my last math class, and it was our final.
Blush.
And it came back that I got 100%.
Ain't
Everything
no way.
right, and I
Ain't
went,
no way.
Hell no, but I'll take it. So that was the
Got
one
her.
time where
I
I think
remember
it worked.
there was a test I didn't know like any of the answers on. Like it was maybe 1 in 3 that I knew the answers to. So I went through like you normally do.
pretty
Answer
good.
all the ones you got right, and then you go back and you
Guess.
kind of guess on some of them. And I remember I used to all the time like just do whatever pattern seemed right on the ones I didn't know because I was like I don't know it didn't matter
always B.
anyways. I heard it was always C.
Oh,
yeah,
me
it's
too. I
always
always
C.
did C.
No, it's always B.
Wow.
No, you're
That's
wrong.
why I got
Because if it's a-
1800 right there. He knew.
1800, baby. Because if it's
B on
if
all
it's a
of it.
true or false question, it's got to be either true or false, A or B.
Oh, okay.
You got to go always B.
Okay.
You put C for all those, you're done.
Did you guys have
get 0.
carnivals if you were honors?
Carnivoners.
no one.
Our
does
Carnival
school would
honors.
host a giant carnival. And
For
if you
smart
were
kids.
had a
Carnival
GPA
honors.
if you had a GPA
Carnival.
of 3.5 or more, you got to spend have a half day.
You
at
know,
the
I hated
carnival.
kids like you, Kara.
Where'd the
I
dumb
know.
kids go?
Same.
I had a
Make kids dumb again.
Where did the Annies go?
3.8 in high school.
I graduated
End of the
college
year?
with like a 2 point something. Like I barely skated through that.
Oh,
Dawn.
performing college
I think I got a
4.0 baby.
That is crazy.
Easy.
Theater college.
Performing.
Theater college.
I got 100% in guitar.
Oh.
Nice.
No, I didn't. I got
You didn't.
Got a B.
Like I gotta see.
Yeah, turns out you got to show up to every class.
Believe it or not.
Rough. That's
You ever have
hard.
one of those classes in college where if the professor was going to mark you down if you missed class? Like he's like you could miss like 2, but then he'd start marking you down if you start showing up.
Ours depended on how many times a week you had that class.
I would show up until he took like roll, and then I would leave. It was my
So
oceanography
you.
class.
So you.
Wasn't that a liberating feeling? Like either leaving a college class early or not going to.
Oh yeah.
Realizing
Mine
that
was
I could
giving
just
You could just
leave.
do it
mine
whenever
was
you
giving
want.
my clicker to somebody else
That was my problem
at
honestly.
SCSU.
What the hell's a clicker?
Okay, so it looked like a white
Sorry.
remote.
When people go to like a lecture, Annie, well, it's not on the computer. It's like you go to a college. Well, you guys know, right?
It was in the
I
only.
know.
It was in the only like giant
What
lecture
was-
classes.
What was your guitar clicker like?
Uh huh. It was a strum. You just strum it.
They would call your name, and you'd have to do a little
Uh-huh.
ding.
Yeah, it was like diddly
It was
No,
white
this
remote.
one-
I
You
was
do
taking
8-bar
care of.
This one was a
Yeah.
white remote that had A, B, C, or D on it, and you would go. It would like register if you were in the location area of it. So if you didn't feel like going to your lecture, you would give your clicker to someone who was going, and they would post on the board some kind of trivia question.
Okay.
And didn't matter if you knew the answer. If
just
you
had to
clicked,
click in.
if you clicked in any of those answers, that was your
Attendance.
Wow. No, I never had that.
It was like, what's the thing
They were stupid. They were like
they do
$80.
where you like sign in on your
David
phone?
had one at SDSU.
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I think I still have mine
Wild.
somewhere.
Isn't that
I remember
crazy?
not going. That was my
crap?
downfall though, because I literally was like, I'd have like a bad day and I'd be like, I can't go to class. I was like,
Should've
you're
gave
an
somebody the
adult,
clicker.
so nobody cared. No, of course, by the never.
I went to I had one 8 a.m. class at SDSU,
Mm.
and I remember going one morning, and the teacher didn't show up, and we all sat for 30 minutes, and then I was like, I'm out. I'm
Are you kidding
leaving.
me? One time, teacher
Horrible.
didn't show up, and the whole class erupted in cheer. It was like we were there and we were waiting, and the guy wasn't there. It was an older Hispanic dude. He taught Chicano history, and I don't know why I was taking it. I don't think I needed it.
For
and I was
GE.
Okay.
we were sitting there, and all of a sudden it was like 20 minutes, and we were
Ouch.
kind of all started talking to people. You know how you get that like shared experience where you're like, "Is he gonna come?" Like we're all like
Yep.
chatting like we're friends now.
Yeah.
And then this guy comes in, opens the door. And he tapes something on the door, and we're all like looking at him, and he goes, "Oh, sorry, yeah, he's not gonna make it." And we're all like, "Yeah, Like literally, everyone screamed and clapped, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, we hate this class."
Yik yak.
Horrible.
I had a final. I was moving to DC, and I had a final in women's history. And I went up to her and I was like, I'm moving before the final. Like, can I take it early? And she was like, well, why are you moving? She had kind of been like a hard ass all year. And then I go, I have an internship with the National Women's History Museum in DC.
You win.
And she was like, oh yeah, do you want to just take it now? And she fully just like let me sat there while she was teaching this stuff to another class in the back corner. And I was like,
she's like, and the answer to 4 is D. The answer to 5 is B.
Honestly been like, you got that internship?
yeah, go for it. You passed.
You got an A.
For real. Hey, you will be studying women over there.
Women.
Did you ever use yik yak for your college?
Did I for college?
Yeah.
That was like a thing for college campuses.
That's how it started.
High school.
That's
it started in
dangerous.
college.
That is so
young.
dangerous.
True Confessions.
Yeah.
Is there another one called True
Young.
Confessions?
There was one that we had
I
called
don't know.
Burn Book once Yik Yak got shut down.
When Yik Yak got shut down, it was just people making Twitter pages that were like confessions of this
Overheard-
campus.
overheard LA.
Overheard LA.
Overheard
Yeah.
SD.
Yeah, that's some pretty brutal stuff at Santana on the confessions
Oh,
page.
God.
It was true public school status. It
Yeah,
was
our
not
Yik Yak
okay.
was like you would put a girl's name and then everyone would rate her. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
my
horrible.
Everyone would leave their
God.
honest
It's like the bird.
opinion
It's
of
literally like the
people.
bird book.
Yeah.
Okay, ours was so much like not bad.
For our Gen
our
Z
big one,
listeners, it was an app back in the
They
day.
understand.
our big
They
one
know
was
apps, right?
at SCSU in like big lecture halls. Someone would put like at this
Smash.
exact time, everybody sneeze, like
Oh,
that kind of
really?
thing.
Yeah.
That's
But it would be like a 500 person lecture. So when 3:02 hit and every single person sneezed, the teacher freaked out.
They're
What
like,
about Ask
what
FM?
It
is
was so
happening?
fun.
Ask FM. You guys remember Ask
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ask FM was high school.
Yeah, it's good.
You guys are so millennial right now.
So freaking
like,
millennial.
It's fun though.
Speaking of overheard, I overheard that over at the post show, we're going to be talking about some crazy
So awesome.
stuff. Folks, down below in the bio, go to our Patreon. For $4 a month, you can support this show as well as get access to a bunch of cut content, a bunch of extra content. We've got
Hey.
our post shows up
Oh
there.
my gosh,
We got
this is the
some
summer
behind the
summer.
scenes. And yeah, it's going to be a jam-packed summer for us here at What the Podcast. Maybe we got a little merch drop coming. I don't know. We've been teasing it for a long time. Maybe we'll have it. Maybe we won't. I don't know. But yeah, down below, hit the Patreon. And we're going to be talking about on the post show this week, one of the presidential candidates had a worm eat his brain and then died.
I had worms
The
too.
worm, not
the
him.
worm, not him.
Oh, good distinction.
Me and him have
Nice.
things in common.
Oh,
'Kay.
wow. Okay.
You don't have to talk about your worms, Kara.
Great.
Goodbye.
Welcome to What the Old Folks.
On the couch, as always, Kara Tafoya, Annie the Scove Scoveman. I'm Ryan.
I'm John.
And we'll see you next week on What the Podcast.
That's the episode title. It's going to be What the Olden Days.
What the Rizzler, I think.
Oh,
What the
God.
Gyat.
Yeah, what the Gyat is good.
John, you ever throw it back?
What the Scantron.
I hadn't heard Gyat. That's
Well.
Either.
If you don't know, now you know.
I want to know how it. You know how they have like an origin story? Like, what's the origin behind it? How did they get to Gyat?
Throwing
You don't
that
know.
booty back.
We'll never know.